There are a few things that are certain in life: death, taxes, and a new TVS Apache RR 310 every single year. Well, yes, that has been the case with this motorcycle ever since it was launched in 2017-2018. In 2019, TVS gave it a mild makeover. In 2020, the update was more comprehensive, which was the BS6 version of this motorcycle. Now, I thought at that time that was the most complete version of the TVS Apache RR 310. However, in 2021, TVS has gone one step better. They have really taken the game forward with this. They've added more kit and they've made this motorcycle even better than before. In fact, I've been riding this motorcycle today at the MMRT racetrack, and I'd go as far as to say that this right here is the best sports bike that you can buy in India. And if you watch this video till the end, you'll come to know exactly why.
You're watching the autoX YouTube channel. You can also get your daily dose of all things automotive on our website, autox.com, and follow us on social media. Don't forget to check out our monthly magazine and make sure to hit the bell and subscribe button so you don't miss a thing.
3 updates in 3 years tell you that TVS takes feedback from its customers and critics quite seriously. The 2020 version was near perfect, but then it left some enthusiasts wanting more. It wasn't aggressive or racy enough, they said. So, for 2021, TVS decided to fix the issue by coming up with a unique build-to-order initiative for the RR 310 in India. Think of it as an online configurator where you can pick and choose performance parts for your RR 310. However, instead of being bolted on at a dealer, these parts will come factory fitted. There are 2 performance kits on offer, Dynamic and Race Kit. The Dynamic kit adds fully adjustable front fork with 20-step adjustments for compression and rebound and 15mm preload adjustment, while the rear monoshock gets 20-step adjustments for rebound and 10-step for preload. There's also an anti-dust brass-coated chain on offer with this kit. The Race Kit, on the other hand, makes the ergonomics sportier. The foot pegs are raised up by 30mm and the clip-on bars have been lowered and pulled back by 8 and 5 degrees respectively. On top of this, you can now have your RR 310 in a TVS racing livery that you see here. It looks gorgeous in the flesh. The quality levels are also as impressive as before. There's also been some minor updates in the standard version over the 2020 model. The new version gets a new design exhaust, and the TFT now packs digital storage for documents, an overspeed indicator, a dynamic rev limiter, and a day trip meter.
The feature list of the 2021 RR 310 is of course quite long and exhaustive, but if you have to pick one main highlight, it has to be the new suspension package. Well, this is something that we are seeing for the first time in a motorcycle in this segment. Now, this is something that's quite unique, and this is what will draw a lot of customers. Another thing is you don't need any specialized tools to do that because the key itself has a screwdriver. So if you want to change the settings, well, you can just change them on the go. But the thing is, how much of a difference does this adjustable suspension make in the way the RR 310 feels? Well, I've been riding this motorcycle around the racetrack and it feels absolutely brilliant, and it's ready for all occasions. I own one of the original RR 310s from 2017. My biggest grudge with that motorcycle was that it didn't sound like a big bike, or it didn't sound like sporty enough. In fact, there was a lot of vibrations, and the exhaust, well, it used to rattle. But with this version, TVS has finally fixed it. It has a deep, bassy noise that the old RTR 180 or the current RTR 200 makes. So this is really a nice touch because now this motorcycle actually also sounds sporty.
At the track, we rode the fully kitted out version. That means it was fitted with both dynamic and race kits. And these add-ons have definitely enhanced the dynamic abilities of the motorcycle. For the first session, the suspension is kept at its base setting of 10, 10, 10 for front compression, front rebound and rear rebound respectively. These are the standard settings on the regular version. Just like before, there's nothing to complain about from my side. The RR 310, even in its supposedly neutral suspension settings, handles beautifully. It's precise, predictable, sure-footed and flows around corners beautifully. It's a hugely forgiving machine too, so for learners it's a perfect tool to build their confidence on. The revised ergonomics allow for a more focused riding position, but it's in no way uncomfortable or rest breaking. Plus, while cornering hard, you no longer have to worry about scraping pegs since there's more clearance now. That said, I do wish the pegs were a little more rear set. In some of the corners, like the C2 or the fast flowing section between C6 and C7, I was grinding my boot quite easily while leaning the motorcycle. A more rear set setup in this case would have helped. But then you have to remember that 90% of the riders won't be riding the bike like this on public roads. So if you factor that in, the new riding position strikes the right balance. After 3 laps, we pulled back into the pits, and this time the suspension was adjusted for racier settings, 282. Right off the bat, the difference was evident. The front end firmed up because of reduced compression damping, and there wasn't excessive nosedive under hard braking like you experience in the base setting. However, the reduced rebound damping, especially at the rear, made the ride jarring while riding over undulations on the track. Sure, the bike felt fully dialed in, but it was a little too much for me because I could sense every imperfection on the tarmac, and the bike was a little too reactive over the smallest of bumps. For the next session, I increased the compression damping at front to 5 and rebound at rear to 4 without changing the rebound at front. This made it much better. It was the right amount of firm, and the suspension stopped feeling wooden after making the changes. Around corners, the stability was superb and it inspired so much confidence. I mean, I never thought that adjustable suspension is needed on a motorcycle like the RR310, but the adjustability it brings to the whole setup is mighty impressive. There's a clear difference in the way the bike behaves from usual, and the more time you'll spend tinkering the settings, I think you'll be able to get better results both at the track and on the road. Plus, it doesn't just work one way. For the road, you can make the suspension plusher by turning the screws by a few clicks. It's a great value addition. In terms of engine performance, the bike is unchanged from the previous model. The 310cc engine is markedly refined, but it does buzz at higher RPMs. The ride-by-wire throttle is crisp and peppy in track mode, and the engine never runs out of steam at any point in time. Between mid and high revs, like from 4000 RPM to 8000 RPM, it is the most responsive. The brakes have a strong bite too, just like before, and the ABS in track mode is less intrusive. But I still find the brake lever to be a little too long for my liking, and the feedback is also a bit mushy.
When TVS launched the 2020 RR310, I thought that was the perfect motorcycle. I thought you couldn't better that. But with this version, well, they have actually outdone themselves. I said in the beginning, this is the best sports bike that you can buy in India. And here's why. You see, first of all, it looks like a proper sports bike. It looks gorgeous, it looks amazing. So that's one area ticked. The next thing is the performance. It has a 310cc engine. The performance is really great, and you'll never feel that you're out of power or out of breath. Now, what they have achieved here is they have made a motorcycle that can do everything. You want to hit the racetrack? Well, you get adjustable suspension, you can tune it up to your setting, you can just get the maximum performance, you can just tune it to your specification. So that area is covered. You want to ride in the road? It has great mid-range, and in the city it feels quite nimble, it's small, it doesn't heat a lot. So on that area also it's covered. If you want to commute with this motorcycle every day, you can do that. In fact, I have the original RR310 from 2017, like I said, and I ride that motorcycle every day, and it's very easy to ride, it's very nimble also. So I don't have any complaints on that front. The other thing is, if you want to go touring, this is also a great touring motorcycle. It is a sports tourer. It's quite comfortable. Of course, they have added these clip-on bars which are lower and they're pulled back, but even then, they're still not that aggressive. It's still a road bike, so you can ride it every day. You can take it on long distance touring. You can do that very easily. I did Delhi, Bombay with my motorcycle within 2 days, and honestly, that's why I love that motorcycle, because it's the range of abilities that that motorcycle has. But with this one, well, it's just complete in every way. There was just one missing link with the original RR310. That was the fact that it wasn't a proper race bike. You couldn't call it a sports bike because it was still a little soft. It wasn't a perfect motorcycle in that sense. If you wanted to hit the racetrack, of course you'd want something like the KTM RC390. But now with these updates, well, this at a racetrack, it is a proper tool. It is a weapon. It has the engine performance, it has the refinement, it has the kit, the chassis, the tires. Everything about this motorcycle is so brilliant. It is TVS's flagship product, and I think they have really done a marvelous job. So if you consider everything, well, think about it. This is the best sports bike in India. This is a sports bike that can do everything. There is no other motorcycle on the market that can do all of this.
Sure, at this point you might argue that the price has gone up significantly. The original RR310 from 2017 used to cost 2.05 lakh at the time of its launch, and the new version now costs a whopping 2.59 lakh for the standard version. But then you have to remember what's on offer here, and the RR310 is still more affordable than its direct rivals. So in terms of value, in terms of what you get in return, I think the RR310 still makes a lot of sense.
So overall, if I have to sum up the RR310, I'd say that this is all things to all men.